cannot pick up any new charges other than a minor traffic citation of 3 points or less. Please do not show up to any of your classes under the influence because that would violate your stay out of trouble order. And if you are arrested for another DUI before finishing these requirements, I'll put you back in jail for 6 months. You understand that? As long as you complete your requirements within 4 months and stay out of trouble, you'll be allowed to drive and pay the amended charge of reckless driving. The date for completion is?
Is it 3 or
4.
January
Yes,
10.
4.
January 10 at 7.
Thank you. Mr. Terry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Nevada versus Sandra Guzman on the 8 o'clock 18M11467X.
I'm being assisted by the interpreter. Will you have this matter resolved, may I approach?
Of course.
Provide the court with the admonishment. Your Honor, my client speaks some English. I've read her the admonishment and it has been interpreted for me. So I believe that she has a complete understanding of the admonishment. With court's permission, I'm going to ask you to allow us to withdraw our previous entered plea of not to be entering non-contest plea to DUI, stipulate the underlying facts. We're going to ask the court to withhold the adjudication, however. She will do the DUI school, the victim impact panel, and the quarter program. She will likewise pay a $685 fine. If she completes all this and the court is satisfied that she obviously stays out of trouble, will be reduced to a reckless driving. She's also aware, Your Honor, that if she picks up any new offenses, it will be a 30-day suspended sentence. And of course, if she gets arrested on a DUI, it will be a 6-month suspended sentence.
And are we dismissing count 2 today?
I'm sorry.
Dismissing count 2 and 3. Ms. Guzman, do you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record?
Sí. Yes.
You understand by accepting these negotiations, you would be giving up your right to a trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf.
Sí. Yes.
You review the driving under the influence admonishment and waiver of rights form with your attorney. You read and signed this form?
Sí. Yes.
You understand if you were to receive a second DUI within a period of 7 years, you'd spend a minimum of 10 days, but as long as 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center, pay a fine as high as $1,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute.
Sí. Yes.
A third DUI within a period of 7 years does become a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada State Prison, where you'd spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. You could spend 6 years in prison, pay fines as high as $5,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. Do you understand all of that?
Sí. Yes.
The court finds the defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived your rights today to a trial. Ms. Guzman, how do you plead today to the charge of driving under the influence?
No me opongo. No contest.
The court will accept the no contest plea. Your attorney stipulated to the underlying facts. The adjudication will be stayed and you will be sentenced as follows. You will be required to pay a $685 fine. You must complete the DUI school, the victim impact panel, and the coroner's DUI class. There will be a 30-day suspended jail sentence. You do have your 2 days credit for time served and stay out of trouble, which means you cannot pick up any new charges other than a minor traffic citation of 3 points or less. Please do not show up to any of your classes under the influence because that would violate your stay out of trouble order. And if you're arrested for another DUI before finishing these requirements, I will put you back in custody for 6 months. You understand that?
Sí. Yes.
As long as you complete all of your requirements and stay out of trouble, you'll be allowed to withdraw your plea and plead to the amended charge of reckless driving. Counts 2 and 3 will be dismissed. We'll give you 4 months to complete your requirements.
I would appreciate that, Judge. Thank you.
January 10 at 7:30.
Thank you. Mr. Maynard, State of Nevada versus Noel Lopez, 17M14669X on the 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Would you approach with the admonishment?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Maynard, it's not filled out. It's missing signatures. Yours.
Oh, I thought we were only supposed to sign if we were signing for them.
Bar number, name, then your initials, bottom right-hand corner on the front page.
Apologies, I thought we were doing that. We only did that at the, about the presence.
The negotiations.
That'd be great.
Your Honor, exchange for plea in the contest with full time and criminal complaint, take the recommended minimum sentence, that being a $685 fine, completion of the DUI school victim impact panel, get 2 days credit for time served, stay out of trouble while the case remains pending, to be a 30-day suspended sentence, with the understanding that will be 180 days if you were to be arrested for any DUI while the case remains open.
Mr. Lopez, do you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record by the district attorney? You understand by accepting these negotiations, you'll be giving up your right to a trial, the right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf. You review the driving under the influence, admonishment, and waiver of rights form with your attorney. You read and signed this form? Yes. You understand if you were to receive a second DUI within a period of 7 years, you'd spend a minimum of 10 days, but as long as 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center, pay a fine as high as $1,000 and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. Another DUI within a period of 7 years does become a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada State Prison, where you'd spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. You could spend 6 years in prison, pay fines as high as $5,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. You understand all of that? Offense defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived his rights to day to trial. Mr. Lopez, how do you plead today to the charge of driving under the influence? Just stipulate, Mr. Maynard.
Yes, please.
Will accept the no contest plea. You will be adjudicated guilty today and sentenced as follows. You will be required to pay a $685 fine. You must complete the DUI school and the victim impact panel. There will be a 30-day suspended jail sentence. You do have your 2 days credit for time served as well as a stay out of trouble, which means you cannot pick up any new charges other than a minor traffic citation of 3 points or less. Please do not show up to any of your classes under the influence because that would violate your stay out of trouble order. And if you are arrested for another DUI before finishing these requirements, you're going back to jail for 6 months. You understand that? I'll give you 90 days to complete your requirements.
December 6th at 7:30.
Thank you. Mr. Amador, State of Nevada versus Brian Yazzie, 17M09920X.
That's the latest questions this morning. It's my understanding the victim impact panel is being replaced and the court has approved it.
I approve for the VIP, the DUI school, and the fine. Stay out of trouble.
Yes.
Case is closed.
Here's the insurance.
Oh, Mr. Amador, I'm sorry. The clerk just told me that we need proof of insurance for count 3.
It's probably in my file, which I actually didn't bring. My file.
Okay, so can we just do a 2-week status check date on that?
Yes.
Thank you.
September 13 at 7:30.
I have my secretary fax.
Yeah, you can fax it over, but we'll still keep that date outstanding just in case we need to, okay? Mr. Ogata, State of Nevada versus Kenneth White, 18M11274X, arraignment.
Should they give receive discovery, I will be the attorney of record. I'll be just reading and set this over.
Trial date.
December 5 at 8 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Gowdy, State of Nevada versus Camario Taylor, 18F11809X.
Morning, Your Honor. We got anything up, Mr. Chair is not present for the court. I will confirm this counsel. I received the discovery. If we could set the preliminary hearing in the order of course.
Give them date.
December 4 at 8 a.m.
Thank you. Mr. Gallo, State of Nevada versus Louisa, 17M11466X. What's the fine paid?
Yes.
I have proof of everything in the file. Stayed out of trouble. Trouble free.
Yes.
Case is closed. On the 8 o'clock, State of Nevada versus Roxanne Chenier, 18M01598X.
Yes, Your Honor, this is not a request for a continuance.
New trial date.
December 3 at 8 a.m.
Thank you. Public defender case, State of Nevada versus Tony Main, 17M03106X. All requirements are outstanding for Tony Main.
And, Your Honor, we have no representations. Today is the first status check. We have 2 weeks to try to get him here.
2 weeks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
September 13 at
State of
7:30.
Nevada versus Elizabeth Downs, 17M13401X. Elizabeth Downs, she's making her way forward. All requirements are outstanding. Do you have proof of your requirements?
I don't need to pay. I just got here and I couldn't pay this morning. I just got here last night for example. But I do have the money to pay today and I have to do high school. I just have to do the impact panel on September 10th.
Okay, where's the DUI school?
I have the budgetary forms.
Okay, pull it up.
Please, one.
Let's call Mr. Draskovich's file.
Got it over there.
Yes?
So she's 95% complete, and she got 95%. Or if she's 95%.
See, it's just kind of unclear.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Baumann, could you approach?
Sorry. Thought we could do it that.
Looks like she's done without me.
It's just kind of unclear.
Yes, please, thank you.
So 75% complete.
She got 95%. She's still 95%.
No, it says to resume the course from where you left off. That means an 8th time. It's everybody today, man.
There you go.
So, Ms. Downs, you could pay the full $685 fine today.
Yes, I have the money.
Okay, and you're scheduled to take the victim impact panel win? Okay, so,
I was able to schedule like come down.
okay, that's fine. You don't have, okay, just listen to me. You can come up here and pay your fine today. We will do a status check date after September 10th, so maybe 2 weeks after that. What would that be? The 24th?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do a status check date on September 24th. So you need to get a certificate, faxed, emailed, picture taken of it from your phone and to your attorney, okay? And that same thing with that DUI school. So it's a little bit confusing, but I think you need to finish a little bit more of it and request the certificate, okay? So come on up and pay your fine, and you have until September 24th at 7:30 to get me the remaining proof. Mr. Draskovich, on the 8 o'clock, State of Nevada versus Colette Martin, 16M20994X.
Better West End for trial. The state extended malpractice out of the office for 2 days, and the state called it off. We have no opposition.
Reset in the ordinary course.
Yes, thank you.
December 4 at 8 a.m.
Thank you. Mr. Butel? Ellen Butel? Mr. Hendricks? State of Nevada versus Edwin Estevez, 16M33177X.
I think that he has completed everything, just paid the fine.
I don't have proof of the VIP. Would you approach with it so I can have it? See that trouble?
Yes.
Case is closed. State of Nevada versus Jose Lopez Hernandez, 17M26504X. I have proof of the DUI school. I'm looking for the VIP and the fine.
Can I approach?
Yes.
Did that fine go to the right guy?
Hernandez? Lopez Hernandez? We don't have the
Yes.
fine for Estevez.
For the last one?
Yeah.
Right. So that shouldn't have been closed
Okay.
down, the one we just called, so.
So, Mr. Baumann, I have to recall State of Nevada versus Edwin Estevez. So, Mr. Hendricks provided the DUI school today. We had,
And the VIP.
and the VIP. So the fine is outstanding. So that case is not closed. 2-week return date on that one.
September 13 at 7:30.
And then on State of Nevada versus Jose Lopez Hernandez, I have proof of the DUI school, the victim impact panel. And this is the one you paid the fine on?
Yes.
All right, stay out of trouble. Jerry, stay out of trouble.
Yes.
Case is closed. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Your Honor.
Mr. Zeller, State of Nevada versus Stephen Asherer, 17M22409X. All requirements are outstanding. This was a written entry of plea. No bail bench warrant. State of Nevada versus Ann Melendez, a 17M225 I'm sorry, 22878X. I approve of the victim impact panel. I approve of the coroner's class. I need the DUI school and proof of fine or community service. Is Ann Melendez here?
Charge failed status, Charlotte.
No bail bench warrant. Mr. Butel, are you ready? State of Nevada versus Alexis De La Rosa, 18M10503X.
Your Honor, Alan Butel on behalf of Mr. De La Rosa. Your Honor, in this matter, I'm trying to see if there's room for negotiation with this case and a companion case, not, it's up in district court. So if we could have your permission to pass this approximately 30 days so I can try to accomplish that.
Is that acceptable with the state?
Absolutely.
30 days.
October 4 at 7:30.
Thank you. You're going to recall the one with the Armenian interpreter, State of Nevada versus Yura Navetison, 17M19643X. So I know the interpreter has to go up to district court and your client still hasn't shown up. So what do you want to do? We had this as a last chance warning. No bail bench warrant. Thank you. Mr. Vanderhaden, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
State of Nevada versus Joshua Uwe, 18F11900X.
Just my clients to wait on the hallway because there's no seating in here. Can you grab a booty, please? Josh.
Joe, and we'll need Nancy.
Josh.
Joe, I need Nancy from Scram. Who else is standing up here?
Judge, this is for discussion. The marshal told him to come in here.
Oh, okay. Now you can stay right there, that's fine. Okay, so State of Nevada versus Joshua Uwe, 18F11900X.
Judge Adam Vanderhaden from Mr. Uwe. So Judge, we got the new patch results back. So here's what I've done. Since we were in court last time on the 23rd, I told Mr. Uwe, since he flat out denied ingesting or taking cocaine.
And that was when we had like 1,500 points or something.
Yes, I told him, go get your independent blood test done, an independent hair test done, or whatever we can do so we can come back in here and show the judge that we have independent testing from the scram that shows that he had nothing in the system. Well, I have the paperwork that shows that he's done the blood draw. They did the blood work. Unfortunately, he gets the results today at 11 o'clock. He's got an appointment to meet with his doctor. That was the soonest they could turn it around since last week. So, Judge, if you're inclined to remand him today for the scram violation, my request would be to at least pass it till Monday. I can come in with some independent testing. If you,
I won't be here on Monday either, Mr. Vanderhaden, but if you want to come in here all by yourself on the holiday.
So with the extra credit, it's all my clients that come in when no one else is here. No, I'm just kidding. Judge, so, I mean, if you're inclined to remand him, if we can pass it a week, we'll have independent testing that will show he doesn't have cocaine in the system. I mean, there's a positive THC, but THC stays in the system for a month, so.
Your Honor, weren't we supposed to have a patch?
Yeah, we did have one, right? Yeah.
I
So
don't have
on the
It
new
just says
patch,
THC.
this is the new patch that showed THC for 116.1 nanograms per milliliter.
That's double the amount.
It's going up from last time.
It is not normal for it to go up if he's not enlisted. That is new use.
And I know last time we had a horrific amount of cocaine that tested, and we all thought that that might perhaps have been, the last time there was 1,521 nanograms per milliliter of cocaine, and the THC at the last court date was 63.0 nanograms. So it appears to me like he's using more than he did the last time.
Judge, if we could, again, he's paid for it, he's already done the blood work. Would it be possible we'll come in a week? He's still on scram, he ain't going anywhere. We'll come in a week with the new results. If the new results match up to the scram, away he goes to being remanded. If the blood results, which are more accurate than the patch, I would argue, show that it's less than 61 nanograms, I think we have an argument that he wasn't using.
Your Honor, we have someone who, despite all the warnings of this court, the evidence we have before us is that he continued to use anyway. That is indicative to me as someone who has a substance abuse problem that is out of his control, rendering him a danger to the community. I wouldn't mind coming back in a week, but I'd ask that he be in custody until then, especially with the holiday.
All right.
I can't go get the results of 11 for him, Judge, because of the HIPAA laws. We can't get the blood results. Judge, can I pay your notes? He's supposed to get a patch switched out today as well.
Well, Mr. Vanderhayden, gave your client the opportunity the last time we were here. I'm going to remand him today for not, complying with the orders of the court and his conditions of release. We can do a 1-week status check if you want to. He can fill out the appropriate HIPAA releases from jail.
Judge, if we could, I don't have this.
Please, if anything, send me anyone for justice.
Judge, can I beg your indulgence real quick?
May I have court's indulgence for a moment? Your Honor, we already have a case on tomorrow. Can we just return it tomorrow morning?
We can return it tomorrow morning. Are we returning the victim tomorrow morning? Or is he the defendant, is he going to jail today?
Your Honor, I'm going to, perhaps against my better judgment, let him stay out to get his blood results until tomorrow. I will make no commitment that even if those blood results come back clean, I'm not going to necessarily say I don't want him put back in custody. The condition of his release was to go on.
And you've had 2 violations right now. So I'm going to see you back here tomorrow, but you need to be prepared to surrender tomorrow.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you to the state on that one.
August 31 at 7:30.
State of Nevada versus Tiana Akouete-Ekoue, 16M31125X. Status check on an entry plea.
Judge Adam Vanderhayden and Mr. Akouete-Ekoue, this matter has been resolved. However, we need to approach it, Mr. Judge, if you could.
Vanderhayden, you used to just be very easy. Everybody did everything.
Judge, this one we worked out, it was a first for all purposes. But if he gets another one, it would be a third.
We're just going to. He's a weirdo. If you call it a second for enhancement, he'll
Okay,
freak
got it.
out. So just call it first, but he has to understand this next one.
Okay, fine. That's for all purposes. Mr. Vanderhayden, will you please put the negotiations on the record for the court?
Judge, with your permission, the matter has been resolved. He's going to plead no contest to count 1. We ask you to treat that as a DUI first for all purposes.
Okay.
We ask you to sentence him to the DUI first minimums. He's completed both classes already. I'll show you for that. 2 days credit, standard Department 13 suspended sentence. Stay out of trouble, independence in the case. Count 2 be dismissed pursuant to negotiations.
Do you want to pay his fine today and close it out?
Judge, he needs time on the fine.
How much time?
We do 90 days, Judge. He's going to, he's moving with us.
Mr. Akouete-Ekoue, you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand by accepting these negotiations, you'd be giving up your right to a trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf. You review the driving under the influence of admonishment, waiver of rights form with your attorney. You read and sign this form.
I have.
You understand if you were to receive a second DUI within a period of 7 years, you'd spend a minimum of 10 days, but as long as 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center, pay a fine as high as $1,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. A third DUI within a period of 7 years does become a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada State Prison, where you'd spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. You could spend 6 years in prison, pay fines as high as $5,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. You understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
For offense, the defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived his rights today to a trial. Mr. Akouete-Ekoue, how do you plead today, sir, to count 1, driving under the influence? Stipulate?
Yes.
For accept the no contest plea, you will be adjudicated guilty and sentenced as follows. You will be required to pay a $685 fine. Mr. Vanderheiden, you're going to bring up proof of the DUI school for me. I have proof of the victim impact panel.
Yeah, approach Judge.
Yes, please. There'll be a 30-day suspended jail sentence and 2 days credit for time served to stay out of trouble, which means you cannot pick up any new charges other than a minor traffic citation of 3 points or less. Please do not show up to any of your classes under the influence because that would violate your stay out of trouble order. And if you are arrested for another DUI before finishing these requirements, you're going to jail for 6 months. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Count 2 will be dismissed. I'll give you 90 days to get that fine paid. Thank you for completing your classes already.
Thank you, Your Honor.
December 6th at 7:30.
On the 8 o'clock, State of Nevada versus Efren Gonzalez, 17M26081X.
Judge, I'm Vanderheiden with Mr. Gonzalez, who is present with your permission to enter the result of my approach.
Yes.
So I'll take it all minute.
Judge, with your permission, if you have no contest to count 1, we ask to impose DUI minimums for sentencing purposes, DUI second for enhancement purposes. Stay out of trouble in a penalty case, standard Department 13 suspended sentence with 2 credit. He has completed the classes. I emailed the certificate for the DUI school because he did it last night, so he brought it in on his
I have
phone.
that.
I emailed it to him. I have the certificate for the victim impact panel. Do you have that?
No.
Yeah, Coach?
Yes.
And
Does
then he's
he?
going to pay the fine today.
Okay, he doesn't have to do the coroners?
No quarters.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gonzalez, you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand by accepting these negotiations, you'll be giving up your right to a trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf?
Yes, Your Honor.
You review the driving under the influence of admonishment waiver of rights form of your attorney, you read and signed this form?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand if you were to receive a third DUI within a period of 7 years, you'd spend a minimum of 10 days, but as long as 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center, pay a fine as high as $1,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute.
Yes, ma'am.
A third DUI within a period of 7 years does become a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada State Prison, where you'd spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. You could spend 6 years in prison, pay fines as high as $5,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. You understand all of that?
Understood.
Court finds the defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived his rights to date your trial. Mr. Gonzalez, how do you plead today to the charge of driving under the influence, first for sentencing, second for enhancement?
I plead no contest.
Stipulate.
Yes, Judge.
Court accept the no contest plea, you will be adjudicated guilty. Today, as your sentence, you'll be required to pay a $685 fine, which you're going to do this morning. Okay, you've already completed the 2 classes. Come on up and pay your fine. We'll close out your case today.
Thanks, Judge. Have a good day.
2. Okay, I need to recall a case for the public defender, Brianna Brown, 17F01610X. All right, we'll trail it then. How about Mr. Buchanan? State of Nevada versus Erica Palmer, 12M22122X.
Morning, Officer Buchanan. For me, after this is resolved, the commission to approach.
Yes.
I'm going to provide the state with a copy of a written plea here so they can review that.
And would you place those negotiations on the record for me?
Yes, Your Honor. Today, she's going to be hearing no contest plea to DUI for defense. We're going to support the joint negotiations to withhold adjudication. Through the holding period, Judge shall do the 685 fine DUI school at victim impact panel. She lives in Wisconsin, so I believe, I'm not sure if they have a live one near where she is, but I'll look into that. Ultimately, Judge, if she's successful in completing requirements and staying out of trouble and not reduced to reckless driving, will be dismissed in joint negotiations. The suspended sentences are memorialized on page 2. She understands it's 30 days or potentially 6 months if she picks up another one. Correct?
You reviewed the admonition.
Yes.
Court in receipt of the written entry plea has been signed and notarized in addition to the signed admonishment and waiver of rights form. The court will accept all documents as submitted. Do you stipulate to the underlying facts?
Yes, sir.
The adjudication will be stayed. Defendant will be sentenced to the minimums as stated on the record by Mr. Buchanan. Count 2 will be dismissed. We'll do a 90-day status check date.
December 6th at 7:30.
Thank you. Mr. Periente. Mr. Triano. State of Nevada versus Rafael DeBianco, 18M02033X.
Well, you know, I'm standing for Mr. Barrett. I believe this was taken off. He was asking for a second.
Neutral date.
December 5 at 8 a.m.
Thank you. Mr. Bailey, could you and Mr. Bauman approach for a moment, please?
I prefer it if you could, if Mr. Bailey doesn't mind. I got Mr. Giles coming to smell me so I can use the restroom. I need to at least wait for that. I don't. Yeah. Some of this stuff. I don't know.
Zeller. I just like to wait till you walk out the door and then make you turn around and get some exercise. State of Nevada versus Amir Valentine, 17M26881X, status check on requirements. All requirements are outstanding.
Failed standard control.
No bail bench warrant. Mr. King, State of Nevada versus Carol Sidhu, 18M10266X. Right.
We thought it was meant to be along with the DUI line, right? Just completed the DUI class, victim impact panel, and then provided your service.
Would you just put the negotiations on the record for me, what they were?
No contest to DUI for suspension on another influence theory. And the state's going to recommend a sentence to engage in jail for served. That she gets a $95 fine. The class and the victim impact panel stay out of trouble. There'll be 30 days in jail suspended on the conditions and requirements. There's a 6 month suspended sentence if she's arrested on an DUI while the case is open. Down to 2 and 3 to be dismissed.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And we approve of everything today, correct?
That's correct.
Right. Court has received that the written entry plea has been signed and notarized in addition to the signed admonishment and waiver of rights form. The court will accept all documents as submitted. Defendant will be adjudicated guilty. The sentence would be the minimum as stated on the record by Mr. King, but everything has been satisfied. So we will dismiss counts 2 and 3 and close out the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Joe, I need Mr. Zeller again. Just don't let him leave. Hi, Mr. Zeller. I'm going to just push that button and lock the door so you can't leave today. State of Nevada versus Justin Woody, 17M28517X. Justin Woody, all requirements are outstanding.
He sends a letter on
No bail bench warrant. State of Nevada versus Carl Gatlin, 17M28622X. Carl Gatlin, all requirements are outstanding.
First, check. Do you have an address and phone number?
2 weeks.
Yes, no, show Your Honor.
No bail bench warrant. State of Nevada versus Antonio Velasquez Castillo, 17M28864X. I approve for the DUI school. The coroner's class. The fine's been paid. I just need a victim impact panel. Do you have your victim impact panel? Okay. Can you get that for me? Yes, absolutely. I just need the VIP, the one in your left hand. Stayed out of trouble. Case is closed. Good job. Thank you. State of Nevada versus Arturo Escobar, 17M29479X. He's on a last chance warning. The second last chance warning. Do you have proof of your DUI school?
Your Honor, look, I think all we were waiting for was $385. We had DUI school on June 21st.
That's what I showed.
Well, I show you it was a $410.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, the classes were complete.
I showed he paid $300 last time we recorded.
That's what I showed as well.
I don't know, maybe he came up to the counter and paid less.
No, he did. He has a $25 community service fee in there as well.
Okay.
Can you pay the rest of your fine today?
Yes.
Come on up and pay it. Stayed out of trouble.
Yes.
All right, once that's paid, we'll close out your case. State of Nevada versus Brittany Caldwell, 17M30394X.
This was for her to be present for the swearing violation. We wrote a letter on August 24th.
No bail bench warrant. State of Nevada versus Gail Clemens, 17M31113X. Gail Clemens, status check on requirements, set of proof of the coroners, that's it. We continue this from 8/16 until today's date.
That's for bench warrant.
Yeah, Judge. Can we trail this? Last time we recorded, we were going to send a letter to her to have her be here. Then she showed up late. Mr. Bassett spoke to her, so a letter never got sent to her.
Okay,
We
well,
trailed for him to come in.
already
Maybe
kind of
just
late.
explain what happened.
State of Nevada versus Pamela Browning, 18M02181X. I approve of the VIP, the DUI school. She's completed 23 and a half hours of community service. There's $390 outstanding or 39 hours. How are you doing on that?
If I can have an extension for community service.
Okay. Can you get it all done this time in 30 days? All right, 30 days.
October 4 at 7:30.
Thank you. State of Nevada versus Nicolette Irsch, 18M10749X. Come on up. So it looks like this was a status check date. Is this on maybe for negotiations? What are we doing on this
It
one?
is, Your Honor. There was an offer of MOP in this case. This was entry of plea.
Mr. Zeller, she's here.
I'm sorry, what's the name?
It's Nicolette Irsch.
I apologize.
We have it as Ashley version of Gomez.
Okay.
I apologize. My clerk did not pull file, so I have no idea what it's doing. Oh, Mr. Bassett has it, that's why.
Okay, just take a seat for a few minutes. Thank you. Okay, do we have any of the in custody you can call for right? Tyrese East Pleasant. 18M12719X. This matter's been resolved.
It has, Your Honor. No contest with you on second. He will serve 60 days in jail concurrent to his Henderson case that is currently incarcerated on.
I'm sorry, this is
East Pleasant.
He's pleading to a DUI second.
Correct.
Mr. Eves Pleasant, you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record?
Yes.
You understand by accepting these negotiations, you'll be giving up your right to a trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf. You reviewed the driving under the influence of admonishment and waiver of rights form with your attorney. You read and signed this form. You understand if you were to receive a third DUI within a period of 7 years, that does become a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada State Prison, where you'd spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. You could spend 6 years in prison, fine as high as $5,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. You understand that? Provides the defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived his rights to date to a trial. Mr. Eves Pleasant, how do you plead today, sir, to driving under the influence? Second offense.
We'll stick to it.
Or accept the no contest plea, you will be adjudicated guilty, sentenced to 60 days in the Clark County Detention Center, which will run concurrent with your Henderson case, okay? Counts 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be dismissed. Thank you. What else do you have I can call, Mr. Zeller?
We can call that, Clemens getting arrested.
17M31113X. Gail Clemens.
Mr. Bassett did speak to her last time we were in court, that's why we did not send a letter. We did tell her to be present today, so.
No bail bench warrant. How about state of Nevada? Are we ready on any of the, we have a bunch of in custodies left.
Mr. Bassett, I think can handle that shakeout.
Okay, what about Jason Perry?
I'm speaking with him right now.
Okay. And what are we doing on Brianna Brown? 17F01610X.
She was here, Your Honor. She's been here the whole time. She's just outside. She has 2 4-month-old babies with her. But I can go get her if you'd like to call her now.
Okay, sure. No, she's on the job. They can go to services. Mhm. All requirements are outstanding.
Yes, Your Honor. She has completed the DUI school. She accidentally did the victim impact panel online. She has proof of that. I explained she's going to need to redo that. She has signed up for the coroner's class. She's taking it this afternoon. That was when she tried to sign up a month ago. That was the first available time they had for her. She does not have any of the community service or fine done today. It is because she gave birth 5 months ago and is a single mom who has to watch twins. So she has very, very little if any, free time to pursue a job or community service. If we could get more time, the classes will be done, and she will make as much progress as she can towards community service or a fine. Again, the father of her children unexpectedly fled to California, leaving her alone immediately after she gave birth, and she's in an unfortunately very bad way. But
all right, so she entered a plea on March 8th, 2018.
Yes, Your Honor. And she was due to give birth
right
2 weeks after that, which is why you gave her
which is why I gave her 5 months. So right now, I don't have proof of anything. So you said she did something. Where is it?
She has it on her phone. She can email proof that she completed the DUI school and an online victim impact panel to the clerk. Right
Well,
now.
pull it out. I need this. The district attorney needs to see it. We also need proof of insurance for count 8.
I understand that.
Where's your phone, ma'am?
Her phone is outside in the hallway.
Well, go get it. You can leave the babies there. I just might keep them. Mr. Zeller, you need some practice. Why don't you help out?
That's what I have to look forward to.
All right.
Very excited.
I see 1, 2, 3 DUI online, Your Honor.
Okay.
And the state, given the number of requirements left to be done, would be willing to accept the online VIP if the court will.
I will take that. Okay, so you have to do the coroner's class, and that's scheduled for when? Okay, and do you have proof of insurance?
I was going through the board, so I'm not sure if they told me. I misunderstood that was going to be dropped or whatever, so I can
Okay, so you need to bring in proof of insurance that the car was covered, okay? So I'm going to give you 60 days to wrap this up, okay?
November 1st at 7:30.
Okay, what else can we call Mr. Bassett?
We can call Mr. Pacheco in custody, Your Honor.
14F09815X, 09M0451X, and 12M3849X. So SOP said they never got.
And I asked, when did you talk to SOP? Because
They sent an email.
Okay.
On August 29th that says he was not entered into the program because they never received an application. And they need an application to do an evaluation.
All right. So I spoke with Mr. Pacheco. I personally remember meeting him on August 3rd, which was his first day. I gave him an application. He filled it out, turned it into a CO at CCDC on the 4th. He called me that day to tell me I made a note in our Just Work program. I have been trying to reach Stacy Ledesma for the last 2 weeks. I called her every day. Sent her several emails, spoke to somebody in her office who said, "Oh, don't worry, Stacy will go and interview Mr. Pacheco." I'm not sure that this was, from our records, it had been turned in. Despite repeated emails and calls, I received no word at all from the SOP program.
Okay, so this is called, let's do this. Let's bring Mr. Pacheco back a week from today. You send Ms. Ledesma another email.
Okay.
My clerk will call her as well.
Okay.
And we are going to, if she doesn't get over there by then, she can come in here into court next Thursday, or one of her people, and interview him while he's sitting right there.
I did give him another application to fill out. The only thing I was going to ask, Your Honor, just because, again, this is not Mr. Pacheco's fault, I was going to ask that you reconsider his custody status today, release him to house arrest, simply so that he can go back to work. His job has been held for him.
And bring that up on Thursday, next Thursday, one more week.
Right, Your Honor, and
because I don't know what happened between him and the CO, but he has access to a telephone. He could have called you. You could have gone over and picked up the application, So next week on Thursday.
And Your Honor, for the record, I've spoken to Mr. Pacheco 7 different times since August 3rd. He has told me from the whole time I've been operating under the assumption that the CO turned in the completed file.
All right.
He's going to lose his job.
I'm sorry about that, but he's going to be driving under the influence arrests. So we'll see you back on Thursday.
September 6th at 7:30.
Okay, so I have 3 8 o'clocks or a few 8 o'clocks. Mr. Bassett, are those yours?
I have all the 8 o'clock, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, may we call those?
You may call, I still need to speak with 2 of them, but you can call most of them, yes.
Okay, tell me who I can call then.
You can call Spencer Freeman.
18F05084X, and I'll take the initial.
Yes, Your Honor, I've spoken with Mr. Baumann. We have received several hundred pages of discovery. We're going to agree to a joint continuance on this.
Your prelim date.
December 6th at 8 a.m.
Okay, December 6th?
Yes.
Thank you. Gregory Patton, Your Honor.
18M11263X.
This matter has been resolved. I'm approaching with assigned admonishments. Today, Mr. Patton is going to plead no contest to count 1, DUI. There will be a stay of adjudication. He'll have to complete the minimum, so the victim impact panel, DUI school, $685 fine for 69 hours of community service. You will also have to complete the coroner's class. You will also have to provide proof of insurance on count 3. He's going to enter a no contest plea to that as well. Counts 2 and 4 will be dismissed. The state of trouble order during the pendency of the case.
You stipulate?
I do.
Mr. Patton, you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record? You understand by accepting these negotiations, you'll be giving up your right to a trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf?
Yes.
You review the driving under the influence admonishment waiver rights form with your attorney. You read and signed this form?
Yes.
You understand if you were to receive a second DUI within a period of 7 years, you'd spend a minimum of 10 days, but as long as 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center, pay a fine as high as $1,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute?
Yes.
Third DUI within a period of 7 years becomes a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada State Prison, where you'd spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. You could spend 6 years in prison, pay fines as high as $5,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. You understand that? Provides the defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived his rights to date to trial. Mr. Patton, how do you plead today to count 1, driving under the influence? Or accept the no contest plea. The adjudication will be stayed. You'll be sentenced as follows. You will be required to pay a $685 fine, or you may complete 69 hours of community service through a nonprofit. You must also complete the DUI school, the victim impact panel, and the coroner's DUI class. When you make your appointment with the coroner's office, please let them know you're a public defender client. You will not have to pay to take that class, but you will have to pay for your other classes. There will be a 30-day suspended jail sentence. You have your 2 days credit for time served to stay out of trouble, which means you cannot pick up any new charges other than a minor traffic citation of 3 points or less. Please do not show up to any of those classes under the influence, because that would violate your stay out of trouble order. And if you are arrested for another DUI before finishing these requirements, you're going to jail for 6 months. You understand that?
Yes.
As long as you complete your requirements and stay out of trouble, you'll be allowed to withdraw your plea and plead to the amended charge of reckless driving. Counts 2 and 4 will be dismissed. With regard to count 3, if you bring in proof that you had insurance at the time, that count will be dismissed. Proof of insurance after the date of the incident would be a $195 fine, but failing to provide proof of insurance to the court will result in a fine totaling $1,138. It'll give you 4 months to get these things completed.
January 10 at 7:30.
Thank you. Mr. Pariente, State of Nevada versus Debbie Toombs, 17F04282X.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Pariente with Ms. Toombs. Your Honor, today she's going to unconditionally waive up to do the serious offender program. She's been admitted to the SOP.
Okay. All right. Ms. Toombs, you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record?
Yes.
You unconditionally waive your right to date your preliminary hearing?
Yes, I do.
You understand by waiving your right to date your preliminary hearing, you'd be giving up your right to testify or to cross-examine any witnesses at the stage of the proceeding? You also understand you will not return to this court, but that you will answer to the district court, which is the higher court. Court finds the defendant has knowingly, willingly, voluntarily, and unconditionally waived your rights to date your preliminary hearing. You will be bound over to the Judicial District Court, and your bind over date is
September 10 at 10 a.m. lower level.
Thank you. I call.
One quick question. Obviously, she's going to be going into the house arrest as part of the SOPs. For the court being fine to take her off the scram.
I just bound her up, Mr. Pariente, and the state usually likes her to stay on scram until the plea is done. Okay.
Right,
Thank you. If I call your name, please come forward. State of Nevada versus Cheyenne Mata, 17M27560X. Cheyenne Mata? Is that you?
Yes.
Did you receive a copy of the criminal complaint?
Yes.
Do you understand the charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender today on your behalf. Mr. Bassett, do you guys just want to set these today, or do you want to talk with her?
If we could talk with them, I'm not sure if Mr. Zeller has discovery, if there was discovery.
It was filed this morning in open court.
Then I would assume Mr. Zeller.
Okay, just take a seat. State of Nevada versus David Kessler. David Kessler, 18F05650X. Did you receive a copy of the criminal complaint, sir?
Yes.
You understand the charges?
Yes.
I will appoint the public defender today on your behalf, and they just asked that you guys all be seated, okay? I'll speak with you shortly. State of Nevada versus Shawan Adair, 18M08826X. Shawan Adair?
Yes, sir.
Did you receive a copy of the criminal complaint, sir?
Yes.
You understand the charges?
Yes.
Are you going to get your own attorney? Are you getting your own attorney, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll give you 30 days for confirmation to counsel.
30 days. October 4 at 7:30.
State of Nevada versus Randall Graves, 18F11320X. Randall Graves has failed to appear. Bench warrant will issue. State of Nevada versus Jorge Alvarez. Jorge Alvarez, 17M21956X. Mr. Alvarez, do you need the interpreter? This is Mr. Alvarez. Did you receive a copy of the criminal complaint charging you with driving under the influence?
Yes.
You understand the charge?
Yes.
Are you going to get your own attorney?
Yes.
I will give you 30 days to get your own attorney.
October 4 at 7:30.
Thank you. State of Nevada versus Raimundo Ramirez, 18M11280X. Raimundo Ramirez.
So just be transferred to JC11.
So come on up, sir. This case is going to be transferred to Justice Court 11. We will give you a new court date in the Justice Court 11 department.
September 6th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 7B.
Thank you. State of Nevada versus Kenneth Conway, 14F01258X. Are you Ms. Conway? Okay, so you paid your fine. You completed the victim impact panel. Do you have the DUI school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Bassett, can you just stand in for this? I think your attorney may have withdrew, yeah.
Certainly.
I just need her DUI school.
Oh, yes. You have that right there. Mayor Coach?
Yeah, trouble
All right. Did she lose the benefit?
Yes.
Okay, this case will be closed out. Thank you. Did you want this back? Okay, thank you. State of Nevada versus Tanya Disposales, 18M07002X. Did you receive a copy of the criminal complaint? Do you understand the charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the public defender today on your behalf if you'll just take a seat. Oh, wait, sorry. Come on, back up. I have a signed admonishment.
Oh, sorry. Yes, this is the one that's been resolved. Yes, Your Honor, this has been resolved. Today, Ms. Disposales is going to be pleading no contest to count 1. DUI will be a state adjudication. She'll have to complete the minimums plus the coroner's class. We'll have the standard state of trouble order and pendency of the case. Upon successful completion of those requirements, she'll be allowed to withdraw her plea and enter a guilty plea to an amended charge of reckless driving. And I stipulate to the facts.
Correct.
And are we dismissing count 2 today?
We are.
Ms. Disposales, do you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record? You understand by accepting these negotiations, you'll be giving up your right to a trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf. Your view to driving under the influence, admonishment, waiver of rights from your attorney, you read and signed this form. You understand if you were to receive a second DUI within a period of 7 years, you'd spend a minimum of 10 days, but as long as 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center, pay a fine as high as $1,000 and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. If their DUI within a period of 7 years does become a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada State Prison, where you'd spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. You could spend 6 years in prison, pay fines as high as $5,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. You understand that?
Yes.
Offensive defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived your rights to date to trial. Ms. DePasquale, how do you plead to date count 1, driving under the influence?
No.
Court will accept the no contest plea. Your attorney stipulated to the underlying facts. The adjudication will be stayed, and you'll be sentenced as follows. You will be required to pay a $685 fine, or you may complete 69 hours of community service through a nonprofit. You must also complete the DUI school, the victim impact panel, and the coroner's DUI class. When you make your appointment with the coroner's office, please advise them that you're a public defender client, and you will not have to pay to take that class, but you do have to pay for your other classes. There will be a 30-day suspended jail sentence. You do have your 2 days credit for time served and stay out of trouble, which means you cannot pick up any new charges other than a minor traffic citation of 3 points or less. Please do not show up to any of those classes under the influence, because that would violate your stay out of trouble order. And if you're arrested for another DUI before finishing these requirements, I will put you back in custody for 6 months. You understand that?
Yes.
As long as you complete your requirements within 4 months and stay out of trouble, you'll be allowed to withdraw your plea and plead to the amended charge of reckless driving. Count 2 is dismissed. The 4-month date is
January 10 at 7:30.
Thank you. So what else do you have, Mr. Bassett?
You can call Sage Wire, Your Honor. She's outside.
She's
on the
right
8 o'clock. Oh, she's here.
there. 18M09949.
Yes, this matter has been resolved. I'm approaching the signed admonishments. This morning, Ms. Wire is going to be pleading no contest to count 1, DUI. She will have to complete the minimums plus the coroner's class, but there will be a stay of adjudication upon successful completion of her requirements. She'll be allowed to withdraw her plea on the DUI and enter a guilty plea to an amended charge of reckless driving. She'll have a stay out of trouble order during the pendency of the case, standard 30 and 80 days suspended sentences. Count 2 will be dismissed, and count 3, I believe, is already taken care of.
That's correct. She showed that earlier. Ms. Wire, you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record?
Yes.
I understand by accepting these negotiations, you'll be giving up your right to a trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your behalf.
Yes.
Review the driving under the influence of admonishment, waiver of rights form with your attorney. You read and signed this form?
Yes.
You understand if you were to receive a second DUI within a period of 7 years, you'd spend a minimum of 10 days. But as long as 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center, pay a fine as high as $1,000 and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute.
Yes.
A third DUI within a period of 7 years does become a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada State Prison, where you spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. You could spend 6 years in prison, pay fines as high as $5,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. You understand that?
Yes.
Offensive defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived your rights to date to trial. Ms. Wire, how do you plead today to the charge of driving under the influence?
No contest.
Stipulate. Pro accept the no contest plea. The adjudication will be stayed. You'll be sentenced as follows. You will be required to pay a $685 fine, or you may complete 69 hours of community service through a nonprofit. You must also complete the DUI school, the victim impact panel, and the coroner's DUI class. When you make your appointment with the coroner's office, let them know you're a public defender client, and you will not have to pay for that class, but you do have to pay for your other classes. There will be a 30-day suspended jail sentence. You have your 2 days credit for time served, a stay out of trouble, which means you cannot pick up any new charges other than a minor traffic citation of 3 points or less. Please do not show up to any of your classes under the influence, because that would violate your stay out of trouble order. And if you're arrested for another DUI before finishing these requirements, you're going to jail for 6 months. You understand that?
Yes.
As long as you complete your requirements and stay out of trouble, you'll be allowed to withdraw your plea and plead to the amended charge of reckless driving. So you're 21, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you have a cell phone? You know how to use it?
Yes.
You know how to download an app because you're young? So you want to tell me what you should have done at your young age?
Download it. I'm not sure what you're getting.
Uber or Lyft?
Uber, okay.
Okay, because when in my day, when I was your age, we had to use a payphone. We had to find a quarter, we'd have to put it in a blocky phone and call somebody who cared. And maybe somebody cared or maybe somebody didn't. You young people all have lots of alternatives at your fingertips, okay? So I hope you learn from this. You're young, you're too young to be here.
Yeah.
Okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, so you better get it together. No more DUI arrests. You have 4 months to get this wrapped up. Are we clear?
Yes.
Okay.
January 10 at 7:30.
State of Nevada versus David Kessler, 18F05650X. This matter's been resolved. Can you handle this one, or do we need this?
I can do this.
Okay.
Today, Mr. Kessler is going to be pleading no contest to count 2 DUI. We'll have to complete the minimums and the coroner's class. We'll have the standard stay out of trouble order with 30 and 180-day underlying suspended sentences. The remaining counts will be dismissed, and I do stipulate to the facts.
Correct.
Mr. Kessler, you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record, sir?
Yes.
You understand by accepting these negotiations, you'll be giving up your right to a trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf.
Yes.
You reviewed the driving under the influence admonishment and waiver of rights from your attorney. You read and signed this form.
Yes.
You understand if you were to receive a second DUI within a period of 7 years, you'd spend a minimum of 10 days, but as long as 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center. You have fine as high as $1,000 if you ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute.
Yes.
Third DUI within a period of 7 years does become a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada State Prison, where you'd spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. You could spend 6 years in prison, pay fines as high as $5,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. You understand that?
Yes.
Offense defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived his rights today for trial. Mr. Kessler, how do you plead today to count 2, driving under the influence?
No contest.
Stipulate.
I do.
For accepting no contest plea, you will be adjudicated guilty and sentenced as follows. You will be required to pay a $685 fine, or you may complete 69 hours of community service through a nonprofit. You must also complete the DUI school victim impact panel and coroner's DUI class. When you make your appointment with the coroner's office, if you let them know you're a public defender client, you will not have to pay to take that class, but you do have to pay for your other classes. There will be a 30-day suspended jail sentence. You'll be 2 days credit for time served and to stay out of trouble, which means you cannot pick up any new charges other than a minor traffic citation of 3 points or less. Do not show up to any of those classes under the influence, because that would violate your stay out of trouble order. If you're arrested for another DUI before finishing these requirements, you're going back to jail for 6 months. You understand that?
Yes.
Counts 1, 3, and 5 will be dismissed. We'll have 4 months to complete your requirements.
Judge, I didn't know that he's on screen, but I'm sure.
Are you on Scram?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Who else?
If you call Jason Wolford, Your Honor, he was outside.
18M02437X.
Yes, Your Honor. This matter, I thought it was resolved. In speaking with Mr. Wolford this morning, he would like me to request a reset of the trial date. This is the first time.
New trial date?
December 6th at 8 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. You can call Nicolette Ursh, Your Honor.
18M10749X. She's there next to you.
Yes. So this case is a little trickier, Your Honor. Ms. Ursh has been talking with Aaron Nance about Ms. Ursh. She has several open DUIs at this time. And from speaking with Mr. Nance, the agreement we worked out was that she pleads guilty on this, and I do have just signing an admonishment right now. Does the MOP on this program and then on this count, and Mr. Nance then would agree that her other DUIs would be wrapped up. She has not pled to them yet. She has a private attorney, Gregory Knapp, on those other ones. But Mr. Nance said I could put on the record that those other DUIs would also plead to DUI seconds, and would be run concurrent with her completing the moderate offender program. So
all right, but Mr. Knapp's going to bring her back to plea on those, yes?
Correct. She already has a court date on September 17th for those other ones. So,
Robert, those cases here, the notes in the file show Las Vegas meeting and Henderson.
Yeah.
From speaking with Mr. Knapp, 2 of the cases are here and 1 is in Henderson. And I realize the Henderson one Mr. Nance doesn't have control over, and I've spoken with Ms. Ursh about that.
We don't have any plans. So, all right, will you approach?
Yes.
Ms. Ursh, you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand by accepting these negotiations, you'll be giving up your right to trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf?
Yes, Your Honor.
You review the driving under the influence of monitoring, waiver of rights form with your attorney, you read and sign this form?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand if you were to receive a third DUI within a period of 7 years, you'd spend a minimum of 1 year, as long as 6 years in the Clark County or in the Nevada State Prison, pay a fine as high as $5,000 to be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and that would be a felony. You understand that? Court finds the defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived the right to stay to trial. How do you plead today to count 1, driving under the influence?
No contest.
Stipulate?
I do.
Pearl accepted no contest plea, you will be adjudicated guilty, sentenced to complete the moderate offender program, which is approximately a 1-year-long program. If for any reason you fail to complete that program, you would be looking at 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center. You understand that?
Yes.
Count 2 is dismissed. Your moderate offender court report date is?
September 14 at 11 a.m. in courtroom 8B.
Your Honor, I have a 10 o'clock that I have to be at. I ask that we call Mr.
Yes.
Bailey's case as soon as he returns.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, he's not here though. Did you say as soon as he returns?
I'm hoping you just stepped out of the hall.
Okay. All right, I'm asked to recall State of Nevada versus David Kessler, 18F05650X.
I'm just asking that releasing from Superman, so I'll be just on the record.
Okay.
All right, you can be released from Scram. We'll send an order over.
Thank you.
State of Nevada versus Cheyenne Mata, 17M27560X.
President, that's the legal as well.
Okay, would you place the negotiations on the record?
Martha's going to speak about context of the DUI versus we keep the minimum requirement.
Ms. Mata, you understand and accept the negotiations stated today on the record?
Yes.
Understand by accepting these negotiations, you'll be giving up your right to a trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf.
Yes.
You review the driving under the influence of launchment and waiver of rights form with your attorney. You ready to sign this form? Yes? You understand if you're to receive a second DUI within a period of 7 years, you can spend a minimum of 10 days, but as long as 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center, pay a fine the size of $1,000 and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. A third DUI within a period of 7 years does become a felony, punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada State Prison, where you'd spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. You could spend 6 years in prison, pay fines as high as $5,000, and be ordered to complete additional requirements as set forth by statute. You understand all of that? Finds the defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived her rights to the trial. Ms. Mata, how do you plead today to the charge of driving under the influence? Stipulate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pearl accept no contest plea. You will be adjudicated guilty and sentenced as follows. You will be required to pay $685 fine, where you may complete 69 hours of community service through a nonprofit. You must also complete the DUI school and the victim impact panel. Was there no coroners on this?
Correct. She was ousted.
Okay, there will be a 30-day suspended jail sentence for 2 days credit for time served to stay out of trouble, which means you cannot pick up any new charges other than a minor traffic citation of 3 points or less. Please do not show up to any of the classes under the influence. That would violate your stay out of trouble order. If you're arrested for another DUI before finishing these requirements, you're going to jail for 6 months. You understand that?
Yes.
Give you 90 days to get everything completed.
December 6th at 7:30.
So is that all of the cases?
No. There's a couple of, she's gonna sit in my seat.
There's a recall one, and I have 3 attorneys that I've already texted or called
Okay.
the last 30 minutes.
Okay, well, can I just have all of those cases so I know what I'm looking at on my desk? The
Your Honor,
TV has 3.
I can call one, I can discuss on.
Okay.
Yeah, case 17M26920, State versus Charlotte Bureau.
Okay, that's Ms. Marr's case.
Yes, I spoke to Ms. Marr. It's her request to continue. She was out of town and unable to.
Set it in the ordinary court.
Please.
New trial date.
December 3 at 8 a.m.
Thank you. Alright, so we'll wait for Mr. Zenson, Mr. Muir, Mr. Bailey should be back in any moment. Mr. Zeller, I have 3 left for you guys.
Yes, Your Honor. I think Mr. Glasser got to call your Ticia. That's the interpreter one that we let go.
He said he didn't know that.
He was out in the hallway.
So the one where we have the Armenian interpreter, that person has shown up now that I issued, I think, a bench warrant on.
That's correct. Apparently he was out in the hallway.
You're something or other. State of Nevada versus Yura Avesta Sun, 17M19643X. Yes. So what does he have?
Victim impact panel.
Okay.
And I have a receipt, $50. He can pay the remainder today in court.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what that is, but he can pay
that
the
was
rest of it.
that's for his victim impact panel. Okay, so he could pay the $685 fine today. Come on up and see the code. So that was the last requirements then.
Can we close down?
All right, we'll close out your case. We called bench warrant. Joe, is Mr. Bailey outside?
I also texted him to start making his way over here.
I have 3 8 o'clocks. Mary Donna Guzman, Louis Robinson, and Mr. Perry in custody. Mr. Bailey's coming in now, and Mr. Miller's here also. Mr. Bailey, I know Mr. Bauman has to go to district court, so I think we're going to call your cases, but which one is the one that is easy?
Paz, Your Honor.
State of Nevada versus Giovanni Paz, 17M13405X.
Oh, they're never easy, but, Your
Easier.
Honor, Mr. Paz was supposed to have charged to do by today. He has been out of there after the court for 30 days. The court was blind, except for our mistake.
So I have proof of the fine. We're looking for the school on the panel, so 30 days.
October 4 at 7:30.
State of Nevada versus Kokoe, Akouete-Ekoue, 17M
Ms. Robinson?
and 0425X.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Congress come to a resolution on this case with a stipulated sentence. Congress exchange for plea to the sole count of criminal complaint. Both parties be recommending a $1,000 fine, 30 days house arrest. There'd be a stay out of trouble order during the pendency of the case with a 6-month suspended sentence. The defendant would agree to permanently surrender her driver's license. I do have written proof that she has at this time surrendered her driver's license. I would ask that that be ordered in court. Also, there is a requirement that she has to do a walk through the jail and be photographed and fingerprinted to the jail. Your Honor, I do believe that we have a victim speaker.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes. Stan, can you do this, please? If she doesn't have anything, look through the jail.
It was a request of the widow. It was a request, but I thought she got it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Because we have to have the leader, so I don't know. She's anyway. Okay, so at that time they will fingerprint and photograph her. I don't expect it. It's silly season over there.
All right, so but that's fine. All right, back on the record.
Your Honor, I did have a speaker who wishes to speak as this is a rapid course.
So, Mr. Bailey, I'll just ask that you and your client take a seat over at the defense table. I understand that there is someone that would like to speak today before I proceed to sentencing. I understand that emotions are running high. It's very understandable. I'm sorry about the delay today, but I wanted to try to get as many cases out of here as quickly as I could before calling this case, so everybody would have the opportunity, if they decided so to speak, and after having spoken with the defense attorney, the district attorney, and the victims' advocates, I just wanted to make sure that we were all square. If any of you needs tissues or anything, I've got boxes floating around. I know this is not going to be easy for anybody. I'm just going to ask that if you need to step outside, you please do so. No outbursts in the courtroom. And we just need to do this as easily and as possible in a case of this type. Okay. So, sir, what is your name?
Kevin Parquet.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your first name.
Everyone like.
Yes, of course. Okay. Would she like to be seated? Thank you. You're welcome. I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay.
Okay. And can you just tell me what your relationship to the victim was? Sorry.
This is my wife. She was hurt a while back by a doctor and lost a short-term. This has been very tough for our family, the Parquet family. We all miss chat. At first it was, we understood that we thought it was a seizure, medical. And I understood that. And then we found out after that it was an accident. And what we understand is that it was an accident. For now that we know. I know it's been very hard on us. It's been very hard on her, on Georgette. Things happen in life. It happened to be our son, and we miss him dearly. And I can't imagine what we've gone through, but also her and her family, by taking a life of someone that was so honored and loved in this state. But I sure, and my wife and my daughter, very proud of our son. Very proud. And I look around in this room and I know everybody here that you chat. He was a fighter. And what I mean is, he cared about people. And from my daughter and I and my wife, Georgette, I want to tell you that I want you to go on and live your life and always keep our son in mind. And to her family, I'm sorry what she's gone through. Accidents happen. And I understand that now. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parquet, for sharing that with the court. And like I said, it's not easy. I can't imagine as a parent. I can't imagine what that feels like to lose a child. I am very sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for our community to have lost a wonderful person such as your son. Yes, sir.
Chief Perez, Justin, or Chief Peter, Chief Robert, thank you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you.
So again, I'm very sorry for everyone's loss. Sometimes things like this happen. Thank you for speaking today. And I know that this obviously is not easy for you as a family.
No, it's not.
But as a community, we mourn with you.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Ms. Akouete-Ekoue, do you understand and accept the negotiations that were stated today on the record by your attorney and the district attorney. I understand that this was a stipulated and agreed to understanding from both sides. You understand the negotiations that were stated today on the record? You understand by accepting these negotiations, you'd be giving up your right to a trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses against you, and the right to testify on your own behalf. You understand that? I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Court finds the defendant has knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily waived her rights today to a trial. Ms. Akouete-Ekoue, how do you plead today to the charge of vehicular manslaughter?
No contest.
Do you stipulate, Mr. Bailey?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will accept the no contest plea. You will be adjudicated guilty today. And the stipulated sentence as agreed to by both sides and agreed to by the court today is as follows. You will be required to pay a $1,000 fine. You will have to do 30 days of house arrest. When you leave court today, you will have to go over to the Clark County Detention Center to be put on house arrest. You will have to surrender your driver's license, which I understand that has already been done. But what that means is you may never drive again. And you understand that, correct? There's also a stay out of trouble, which means you cannot pick up any other citations or have any other arrests other than a minor traffic citation of 3 points. Or, well, that wouldn't even happen unless you're going to be jaywalking, I guess. So that is the extent of these negotiations and the sentence. Do we have a stay out of trouble period, Mr. Baumann? I mean, are we?
I asked for 6 months, Your Honor. I would also note that I would just ask that it be made clear that any indication that the defendant is driving during this period would be considered a violation of the statute.
Okay, and is there she's doing 30 days of house arrest, but is there any other suspended sentence time under this at all?
6 months suspended.
6 months suspended. So you understand, ma'am, that if there are any violations or if you are caught driving, you violate the terms of the house arrest or the stay out of trouble requirement, you would be immediately remanded to the Clark County Detention Center for 6 months. Okay. And you want to do a 6 month status check date?
We can, or I know the family's prepared to pay the fine today.
Have we closed out?
Yeah.
Okay. So she can come on up and see the clerk and pay the $1,000 fine today. We'll do a 6 month status check date on the house arrest and her stay out of trouble violation. And then she will need to proceed directly to the Clark County Detention Center upon leaving court today.
Understood.
Thank you.
February 28 at 7:30.
Thank you.
Is Mr. Mueller still here? Mr. Zeller? Mr. Bassett, can I call one of your cases?
Yes, Your Honor. You can call Verdiana Guzman.
18M021966.
This is just going to be a defense continuance, Your Honor, and I just wanted to put on the record, I've already spoken to Mr. Brown about this. The officer in the arrest report listed the reasonable suspicion, a random records check on her license that her registration was suspended. That is inaccurate, and we are just waiting for documents to be mailed to her from